I'm Brian Van from SportBikeTrackGear.com, and today we're going to do a video review and deployment on the Spidi T2 Net DPS one-piece race suit. Let's start off with a note on sizing. I'm 5 feet 11 inches tall, about 200 pounds with a somewhat athletic build. I've got on a size 54 Euro right now, which translates into a 44 US. Underneath the suit, I'm wearing the Spidi chest protector as well as the back protector. I've got it integrated into the suit. You'll see how you do that in the second part of this video. Front view, side, down in a riding position, plenty of mobility. Back. And then back to front. At the end of the day, this is simply a T2 race suit, which is already a great product, with the Hit Air airbag incorporated into the suit. You can see the mechanism here, the CO2 cartridge is right there. This is going to be the tether you attach to your motorcycle. You're going to do this in the seat pan area to something very rigid, like, for example, your subframe. There are instructions that come with this. Follow those to a T. At the end of the day, it's very simple, okay? When you're standing on the, once you've got this hooked up and you're standing on the pegs, you want this string drawn tightly when you're standing in an upright position. No slack in it, tightly, not enough that you're going to deploy it when you stand up, but so that you can stand on the pegs without deploying it, but it's drawn tightly. The airbag is repackable. We're going to show you what it looks like in the second part of this video. You can replace the CO2 cartridge, so if you have an accidental deployment, not a big deal. Replace the cartridge, repack it. Let's face it, it could happen, and your friends are going to laugh at you for sure. Why would you want this suit over just a regular T2 suit? It's simple. When you see what this airbag does and how it works with a helmet, it's going to work to prevent neck injuries, which is huge. You know, we're talking C-spine stuff, big deal. And in road racing, probably the most common injury, and I've got the bumps here to prove it, like a lot of you that are watching this probably do too, broken collarbone. Broken collarbones typically happen when your helmet hits your collarbone, right? The ridge on the helmet shell breaks the collarbone. Then you got to let it heal. You got to go get surgery. You miss a little work. It's not the end of the world, but it sucks. A suit like this can stop all that. And the cool part is, right, even if you happen to, in a crash, tear up the airbag thing, pull it off. You still have a race suit, totally functional without it, okay, until you get the hit air mechanism, get a new one and get it replaced. Stay tuned. We're going to have Cause step in here. I'm going to put a helmet on. He's going to pull the cord, and you can see how fast it inflates and what it looks like. Alright, as you can see, that thing comes out of there quick, right? I can hear it deflating right now, alright? I was able to get the helmet off, no big deal. You can reach in between the spot here, undo the double D ring, okay? And you can even remove this from the suit while it's still in its inflated position. Okay, so it does stay inflated for a few minutes. Like I said, inspect the airbag. If it's not damaged, and you can see it's kind of out of the way in a lot of areas. If there's no abrasion to it, no significant abrasion, you're good to go. You put a new cartridge in it. They're relatively inexpensive, but look at this. I think it's quite clear this can have a dramatic influence on the outcome of a wreck. Alright, here we go. The Spidi T2 Neck DPS race suit from the inside out. This is a technical piece. It's going to take a bit, so stick with me. First, we're going to talk about the armor that comes in. It's CE certified biomechanical armor in the elbow and forearm, right? You see the hinge there. Hard outer GP shell, energy absorbing foam, cutouts for ventilation. We see the same thing here used in the shoulder. Tons of protection there. The race helmet is hollowed out, okay? Airflow is allowed to come in. We'll show you that with this shell of the suit here. Through here, cool you inside the suit, right? Can even accommodate a drink bag on most of the other suits. I suppose you could do that with a Net DPS as well. There is not, however, anything to hold the hose as it comes around the front of the suit. So, comes with an instruction booklet just for the Neck DPS. Talks about the technology, talks about what it takes to repack it. There's a special procedure to do that. It's very easy to do. I'm not going to show you how to do it, but I'm going to describe it to you. essentially at the end of the day, when you're putting this thing in there, you can't take and roll this thing, right? You can't roll it really tightly like this, because if you do that, right, you roll it instead of folding it like they describe in here, it bites itself when it's trying to expand, right? All that friction created from the rolls trying to expand slow the response time. You don't want that. You want this thing to come out of there like a rocket ship, okay? Fold it, don't roll it, and make sure all the air is out of it when you go to recharge it, okay? Tools to do this are right here. You can use this thing over and over as long as this has not been damaged in a crash and abraded. As long as it hasn't done that, you can use this over and over again. Here is a quick look at the neck DPS, totally removable from the suit. So let's say hypothetically I'm at a race weekend. I high side myself, I low side, the thing goes off, right? Damn, okay, I don't have another CO2 cartridge with me. I can't recharge it. You can remove this and ride the suit as is. You still have a great Spidi one-piece suit ready to rock and roll without this, okay? So always remember, if you don't have a spare cartridge, it's not the end of the world. You can still use the suit. Here is the tether cord. This is where it attaches to the motorcycle. The instructions tell you how to do that. At the end of the day, to make it short and sweet, when you're standing up on the pegs of the bike, you want this cord drawn tightly. Okay, no slack in it when you're standing up on the pegs, because that means you have to come away from the motorcycle too far in order to discharge this thing. You want it, when you're standing on the pegs, to be kind of tight. We recommend hooking this to an area on the bike like the seat pan, the subframe area down by the seat. Okay, that's a good spot. It's got a quick disconnect just like that. Very easy to do. Follow the instructions. And right up in here is going to be where your CO2 cartridge lives. These are really affordable. If you're going to buy the suit, buy a spare cartridge, okay, or two to take with you, because you know what's going to happen sooner or later. You're going to be tired. You're going to get off the bike after a session or a race. You're going to forget to unhook the damn thing and maybe move away from the bike too quick, and it's going to pop. It could happen. It's going to pop. Not a big deal. Doesn't hurt anything, but you got to have this to recharge it. So there is the canister right there. Liner of the suit. Some technology in this liner. First, this whole yellow area that you see here is a 3D bubble spacer fabric, right? If you use the warrior style back protector that goes in the suit between the leather and this liner, right, it preserves the ability for this to create an air gap between your body and the shell of the suit. Works to keep you cooler and more comfortable. Hip armor. This liner has some of the most legit hip armor we've seen yet. Not only does it have the hip armor, but they sew a panel of leather to the outside to further enhance the abrasion resistance of the suit. That's really thinking fall. We like that. CE certified hip armor. It's a high density, energy absorbing foam, and it's dual density, because here where you see this oval, that's the hot spot on the hip, and they have some even more efficient foam right there. Removable, washable, hand wash only, mild detergent, line dry. Do not ever throw this thing in the dryer. Shell of the suit. Okay, let's start here in the back. I unzipped the race hump pocket, pulled out the race hump. You can see it's perforated here all on the top, right? You can see the back of the neck. We've got a nice expansion panel here. It's that 10X fabric, abrasion, tear resistant, keeps the suit comfortable when you get in a race tuck position. To preserve the airflow in this area, okay, they have a mesh panel here for this portion of the neck DPS, and there is air that can flow through here when that has not inflated. Okay, so you still do get some of that airflow benefit. You can see here that the neck DPS cover is just all held down with just snaps, and it doesn't damage them when it discharges typically. Okay, you've seen we discharged it, had no issue with it whatsoever. Back of the suit, a lot of perforation here. Okay, some energy absorbing foam in this area. Stretch panel, done in leather. Stretch panel here around the waist, large, done in leather. You can see right here the outline of the tailbone pad. It's got a very serious tailbone pad stitched in between the multiple layers of leather. Same stuff we saw there in the hip. Come down all in the crotch and the back of the legs. We've got that 10X fabric, very abrasion and tear resistant, high quality stuff for sure. Knee armor adjustment system in this suit, right? You are able to move this knee armor up and down a very fair amount. I'm going to show you how. It's super simple. and allows you to dial the fit of this race suit in and make it right for you. CE certified, highly efficient armor here in the knee, multi-tech, Velcro's on it. You can move it up and down. This Velcro panel, which is right here, okay? I can only show you a bit of it. What I'd also like to point out is the multiple layers of leather used in this knee. You can clearly see that there is another layer of leather inside here, right? As well as outside here. We've got some foam in there to fortify it. All of these stretch panels, okay, are multiple layers of leather with some Kevlar in it. Very protective in that area. Down here to finish off the leg of the suit, they've used a measure of that 10X fabric. They do that because it takes up less room than the leather does inside the boot. Just a comfort thing. It's totally out of the impact area. Let's come to the front of the suit. Start off with the shoulder. Spidi's got a really cool shoulder design here, right? They cover that shoulder seam, makes it very efficient and protective. They've learned that from years in racing. Perforation here in the arm, multi-panel design, 10X fabric, right? Highly abrasion and tear resistant, rolled neoprene cuff, some Clarino added to the inside for additional comfort. I'm going to roll this back just a little bit. Multiple layers of leather here in the impact zone, in the elbow area. You can see that. There's also a bit of energy absorbing foam that goes on the other side of the elbow armor. So there's tons of protection in this particular area right here. Come to the front of the suit, all perforated down the center. You can see the hid air, right here. That's the strap for the hid air. Get inside the suit. You can see where they have really bolstered that panel here, where that hid air velcros to it. And they have also added some energy absorbing foam, some of the same stuff that we've seen in the hip area behind this leather panel. They've done a little bit of that in the inner liner too. And that's just in case you take a little bit of an impact here when you crash, okay, from the hid air. It's to help manage that so nothing bad happens. Inside the suit, this is where the race hump goes. This is a mesh panel, allows the airflow in and out very efficiently. We get to the shoulder of this suit, the unique Spidi design. The shoulder armor actually velcros in here. This is another full panel of leather that then in turn velcros inside the sleeve. And what you wind up with is a shoulder panel that is just very, very protective, right? Very protective, and it doesn't feel cumbersome or bulky. They've done a fantastic job with that. Inside the suit, kind of pull out in the seat area, right? You can clearly see multiple layers of leather. Here is that tailbone pad I spoke of. Tons of protection built into this suit. And remember, in the hips also, you have that additional layer of leather on the outside of the hip armor. Large stretch panel, we've got Kevlar in here, multiple layers of leather. This is a very serious piece of racing equipment, no doubt. Very comfortable, tons of technology. That neck DPS can really change everything, right? It can help prevent a neck injury, which is the most serious one. The thing that I love the most is it can help prevent breaking a collarbone. Normally a collarbone is broken when your head is pushed over, your helmet impacts your collarbone, pushes down, and bam, breaks it. It's really pretty simple. That's how it happens most often. You can clearly see from when we discharge this, it's a strong possibility that ain't going to happen when you have this on. The suit's barely over $2,000. It is worth every penny of that, no doubt, because it's a great suit without the neck DPS system. I'm Brian Van, sportbiketractor.com. Any questions, comments on this suit, we can be reached at 888-784-4327 or shoot us an email to orders@sportbiketractor.com.